As Gautama Buddha once said, "You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." Today we delve into a timeless lesson that resonates deeply with the essence of Zen philosophy: the importance of focusing on oneself. In a world often consumed by the pursuit of external validation and comparison, it's easy to lose sight of the importance of nurturing our own well-being. Join us as we explore the transformative power of turning our attention inward, embracing self-awareness and cultivating a deeper connection with ourselves. Through practical insights and timeless wisdom, we'll discover how prioritizing our own journey can lead to profound shifts in our lives, ultimately guiding us towards greater peace, happiness, and fulfillment. Number 1, the illusion of external validation. In our society, there's a prevalent belief that our worth is determined by external validation, by how others perceive us, approve of us, or acknowledge our accomplishments. From social media likes to praise from colleagues, we're conditioned to seek validation from external sources as a measure of our success and happiness. However, what we often fail to realize is the transient nature of this validation. It's like chasing after a fleeting mirage in the desert. No matter how much we pursue it, it's never truly fulfilling. External validation is inherently limited in its ability to provide lasting happiness because it's dependent on factors outside of our control. The approval of others can fluctuate based on their moods, biases, or circumstances. What one person admires, another might criticize. Thus, tethering our self-worth to external validation becomes a precarious balancing act, leaving us vulnerable to the whims of others and perpetuating a cycle of seeking validation to feel validated. But what if we shifted our focus inward? What if we embraced the concept of self-reliance and internal validation? This is where the true power lies, in recognizing our inherent worthiness, independent of external opinions or accolades. Self-reliance means trusting in our own judgment, intuition, and abilities. It's about cultivating a deep sense of self-awareness and confidence that isn't contingent on external validation. Internal validation comes from aligning with our values, pursuing our passions, and honoring our authenticity. It's about finding fulfillment from within rather than seeking it from external sources. When we prioritize internal validation, we free ourselves from the shackles of seeking approval from others. We no longer measure our worth by external standards, but by the strength of our character, the authenticity of our actions, and the alignment with our true selves. So let us liberate ourselves from the illusion of external validation and embrace the empowering journey of self-reliance and internal validation. By focusing on ourselves and cultivating a deeper connection with our inner being, we can discover a reservoir of strength, resilience, and happiness that is truly boundless. Number 2, cultivating self-awareness. Self-awareness is the cornerstone of the journey of self-discovery, a lantern guiding us through the labyrinth of our innermost thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. It's the ability to observe ourselves without judgment, to recognize our patterns, triggers, and motivations with clarity and compassion. Without self-awareness, we are like ships adrift at sea, tossed about by the currents of life without a rudder to guide us. Mindfulness exercises and meditation techniques offer powerful tools for cultivating self-awareness. Through mindfulness, we learn to anchor our awareness in the present moment, tuning into the sensations of our breath, the rhythm of our heartbeat, and the sensations in our body. In this state of mindful awareness, we become attuned to the fluctuations of our mind, its incessant chatter, its fleeting emotions, its habitual tendencies. With practice, we develop the capacity to observe these mental phenomena without getting entangled in them, fostering a deeper understanding of ourselves. One mindfulness exercise to enhance self-awareness is the body scan meditation. In this practice, we systematically bring our attention to different parts of the body, noticing any sensations, tensions, or discomfort. By scanning through the body with mindful awareness, we cultivate a deeper connection with our physical and emotional experiences, uncovering layers of unconscious tension or resistance. Personal anecdotes or examples can illustrate the transformative power of self-awareness. For instance, imagine a person who struggles with anxiety, a constant undercurrent of worry and apprehension coloring their every experience. Through the practice of mindfulness, they begin to observe the patterns of their mind with curiosity and compassion. They notice the tightness in their chest, the racing thoughts, the habitual tendency to catastrophize future events. With each moment of mindful awareness, they create a space of presence and acceptance, allowing the waves of anxiety to ebb and flow without resistance. Over time, they develop a greater sense of calm and equanimity, no longer defined by their anxiety, but empowered by their ability to navigate it with mindfulness and self-awareness. Number 3, embracing impermanence. In Buddhism, the concept of impermanence, known as anicca, lies at the heart of the teachings. It reminds us that all phenomena, our thoughts, emotions, relationships, and even life itself, are subject to constant change. Nothing in this world is permanent or immutable. Everything is in a state of flux. Embracing impermanence is not about resigning ourselves to a nihilistic worldview, but rather acknowledging the ever-changing nature of existence and learning to find peace within the midst of it. When we focus on ourselves, embracing impermanence becomes a profound practice. It invites us to let go of attachments to fixed identities or outcomes, recognizing that who we are and what we experience is in a perpetual state of transformation. By loosening our grip on the illusion of permanence, we create space for growth, evolution, and renewal within ourselves. Encouraging viewers to accept change and impermanence as natural aspects of life is a gentle invitation to release resistance and surrender to the flow of existence. Just as the seasons change and the tides ebb and flow, our lives are characterized by cycles of birth, growth, decay, and renewal. When we resist change, clinging to the familiar and fearing the unknown, we suffer. But when we embrace impermanence with an open heart and a spirit of curiosity, we discover the beauty and richness of life's ever-changing tapestry. Embracing impermanence can lead to greater inner peace and contentment by freeing us from the tyranny of expectations and the burden of regret. When we accept that everything is impermanent, we become less attached to outcomes and more present to the beauty of each moment. We learn to savor the fleeting joys, knowing that they too shall pass, and to navigate the inevitable challenges with grace and resilience. Moreover, embracing impermanence allows us to cultivate a deeper sense of gratitude for the preciousness of life. When we recognize the impermanence of all that we hold dear, the beauty of a sunset, the warmth of a loved one's embrace, the fleetingness of youth, we cherish these moments with greater intensity and reverence. In this way, impermanence becomes not a source of fear or despair, but a gateway to profound gratitude, wisdom, and liberation. Number 4, letting go of comparison. Comparing ourselves to others is a common trap that many fall into, often without even realizing the detrimental effects it can have on our well-being. In a world inundated with social media and unrealistic standards of success and beauty, it's all too easy to measure our worth against the seemingly perfect lives of others. However, this constant comparison only serves to fuel feelings of inadequacy, insecurity, and unworthiness. The harmful effects of comparison are manifold. It erodes our self-esteem as we constantly find ourselves falling short in comparison to others. It breeds envy and resentment as we begrudge others for their successes or blessings. It diminishes our sense of gratitude as we become fixated on what we lack rather than appreciating what we have. Ultimately, comparison robs us of our joy, our peace of mind, and our ability to fully embrace ourselves and our journey. To let go of comparison, we must first cultivate a mindset of gratitude and appreciation for our own unique gifts, talents, and experiences. Practicing gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, fostering a deep sense of contentment and abundance. By acknowledging and celebrating our own strengths and blessings, we diminish the need to compare ourselves to others. Another strategy for letting go of comparison is to focus on personal growth and self-improvement. Rather than measuring ourselves against the achievements of others, we can direct our energy towards becoming the best version of ourselves. Setting personal goals, cultivating new skills, and challenging ourselves to grow and evolve empowers us to create our own path, independent of external benchmarks or expectations. It's important to recognize that each individual's journey is unique and incomparable. We all have our own set of circumstances, challenges, and triumphs that shape who we are and where we're headed. Comparing ourselves to others is not only futile but also unfair to ourselves and to those we compare ourselves to. Our worth is not determined by how we stack up against others, but by the authenticity and integrity with which we live our own lives. Number 5, nurturing self-compassion. Self-compassion is the gentle balm that soothes our wounds, the warm embrace that comforts us in times of struggle. It's the practice of treating ourselves with the same kindness, understanding, and empathy that we would offer to a dear friend facing a challenge. In a world that often prioritizes productivity over self-care and criticizes vulnerability as weakness, cultivating self-compassion is a radical act of self-love and acceptance. At its core, self-compassion is essential for fostering self-acceptance and resilience. When we extend compassion to ourselves, we acknowledge our inherent worthiness and embrace our humanity, flaws, mistakes, and all. Instead of harshly judging ourselves for our perceived shortcomings or failures, we offer ourselves grace and forgiveness, recognizing that we are doing the best we can with the resources and knowledge we have in any given moment. Practicing self-compassion involves speaking to ourselves with kindness and compassion, especially during times of difficulty or self-doubt. Instead of berating ourselves with negative self-talk or harsh criticism, we can offer ourselves words of encouragement, support, and reassurance. Imagine how you would comfort a friend who is struggling and extend that same level of compassion to yourself. Acknowledging one's humanity is another key aspect of practicing self-compassion. We are all imperfect beings, prone to making mistakes, experiencing setbacks, and facing challenges along the way. Rather than striving for perfection or expecting ourselves to always have it together, we can embrace our humanity with humility and compassion. We can recognize that it's okay to fall short, to stumble and falter, because it's all part of the messy, beautiful tapestry of being human. The transformative effects of self-compassion ripple throughout every aspect of our lives, enhancing our overall well-being and resilience. Research has shown that self-compassionate individuals tend to experience lower levels of stress, anxiety, and depression, as well as higher levels of life satisfaction and emotional well-being. When we cultivate self-compassion, we become more resilient in the face of adversity, more compassionate towards others, and more attuned to our own needs and boundaries. Number 6, setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is an essential practice in maintaining emotional health and preserving one's energy. Boundaries act as protective barriers that define the limits of acceptable behavior and interactions, both for ourselves and others. Without clear boundaries, we may find ourselves feeling overwhelmed, drained, or resentful as our time, energy, and emotions are constantly being infringed upon. In relationships, setting boundaries is crucial for maintaining healthy dynamics and fostering mutual respect. This may involve clearly communicating our needs, preferences, and limits to others, whether it's expressing when we need space, asserting our personal boundaries, or addressing behaviors that are crossing our boundaries. By setting boundaries, we create a framework for healthy communication and interaction, where both parties feel heard, understood, and valued. Similarly, in the workplace, setting boundaries is vital for preserving one's well-being and productivity. This may include establishing limits on workload, defining working hours, or communicating expectations with colleagues and supervisors. By setting clear boundaries around work-related tasks and responsibilities, we create a sense of balance and autonomy, reducing the risk of burnout and enhancing overall job satisfaction. Establishing healthy boundaries begins with self-awareness and self-compassion. It's about tuning into our own needs, values, and limits, and honoring them without guilt or apology. This may involve reflecting on past experiences where boundaries were violated and identifying areas where boundaries need to be strengthened or clarified. It's also important to recognize that setting boundaries is not about controlling or manipulating others, but rather about taking responsibility for our own well-being and advocating for our needs in a respectful manner. One empowering aspect of honoring boundaries is the sense of agency and self-respect it cultivates. When we assert our boundaries, we affirm our worthiness and demonstrate self-respect. We send a clear message to ourselves and others that our needs matter and deserve to be honored. This act of self-advocacy not only strengthens our relationships and enhances our emotional well-being, but also fosters a greater sense of empowerment and autonomy in all aspects of our lives. Number 7, investing in self-care. Investing in self-care is not just a luxury, but a necessity for nurturing one's physical, emotional, and mental well-being. In today's fast-paced world, where constant busyness and productivity are glorified, it's all too easy to neglect our own needs in favor of meeting external demands. However, prioritizing self-care is essential for replenishing our energy reserves, reducing stress, and fostering a greater sense of balance and harmony in our lives. Practical self-care tips can range from simple daily rituals to more indulgent treats, depending on individual preferences and needs. Prioritizing adequate sleep is one of the most fundamental forms of self-care, as it allows our bodies and minds to rest, recharge, and rejuvenate. Ensuring we get enough quality sleep each night sets the foundation for overall well-being and resilience. Engaging in hobbies and activities that bring joy and fulfillment is another important aspect of self-care. Whether it's painting, gardening, playing a musical instrument, or simply spending time outdoors in nature, these activities nourish our souls and provide a much-needed respite from the stresses of daily life. By carving out time for activities that bring us joy, we cultivate a deeper connection with ourselves and tap into our creative potential. Seeking support when needed is also a crucial component of self-care. This may involve reaching out to friends, family members, or mental health professionals for emotional support, guidance, or reassurance. Asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness, and acknowledging our own limitations allows us to receive the support and care we deserve. At its core, self-care is an expression of self-love, a commitment to nurturing and honoring ourselves in body, mind, and spirit. When we prioritize self-care, we affirm our intrinsic worthiness and value, recognizing that our well-being is deserving of our time, attention, and care. By cultivating a practice of self-care, we deepen our connection with ourselves and cultivate a greater sense of self-love and acceptance. Ultimately, self-care is not a selfish act, but an essential practice that enables us to show up as our best selves in all areas of our lives. By prioritizing our own well-being, we become better equipped to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience and to cultivate deeper connections with others. Number 8. Cultivating inner peace. Cultivating inner peace is a journey of self-discovery and mindfulness rooted in profound wisdom from Buddhist teachings. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, it's easy to get swept away by external distractions and lose sight of the tranquility that resides within us. However, through the practice of self-reflection and mindfulness, we can tap into our inner reservoir of peace and serenity, regardless of external circumstances. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of turning inward to find true peace and contentment. According to these teachings, inner peace is not dependent on external conditions, but arises from the cultivation of a calm and clear mind. By observing our thoughts and emotions without attachment or judgment, we can gradually free ourselves from the grip of stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction, and discover a profound sense of inner peace that is ever present within us. Mindfulness exercises and guided meditations offer powerful tools for cultivating inner peace and presence. One such practice is mindfulness meditation, where we anchor our awareness in the present moment, focusing on our breath, bodily sensations, or sounds around us. Through mindfulness meditation, we learn to quiet the restless chatter of the mind and cultivate a sense of spaciousness and ease within ourselves. Another mindfulness exercise to cultivate inner peace is the practice of loving-kindness meditation. In this practice, we extend wishes of love, compassion, and well-being to ourselves and others, cultivating a sense of warmth and connection that transcends barriers of separation and division. By nurturing feelings of kindness and compassion within ourselves, we create the conditions for inner peace to flourish. Amidst life's challenges and uncertainties, it's essential to prioritize our inner peace as a cornerstone of our well-being. While we may not always have control over external events or circumstances, we can choose how we respond to them. By nurturing our inner peace through mindfulness practices and self-care, we cultivate a reservoir of strength, resilience, and equanimity that sustains us through life's ups and downs. So I encourage you to take a moment to pause, breathe, and connect with the peace that resides within you. Through the practice of self-reflection, mindfulness, and self-care, may you cultivate a deep and abiding sense of inner peace that serves as a guiding light on your journey of self-discovery and well-being. Conclusion. In conclusion, as we conclude our exploration of these 8 principles rooted in Zen wisdom and Buddhist teachings, let us remember that the path to inner peace and fulfillment begins with focusing on ourselves. By embracing self-awareness, letting go of comparison, nurturing self-compassion, and setting boundaries, we lay the groundwork for a life filled with authenticity, balance, and joy. Through investing in self-care, cultivating inner peace, and prioritizing our well-being, we reclaim our power to create a life that aligns with our deepest values and aspirations. So, I invite you to embark on this journey of self-discovery with an open heart and a curious mind, knowing that the wisdom of Zen offers guidance and inspiration every step of the way. Remember, as Gautama Buddha said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. May you continue to focus on yourself and see the transformative power that unfolds within. Thank you for joining me on this journey.